everyone, it's Chris Paul here with Mind Body Solutions. Welcome to our short practice series. This practice, I will lead you through two seated versions of downward facing dog, one of the classical yoga postures. You'll need a couple things for this practice. First of all, a block, and it doesn't have to be your traditional yoga block. You can use a hardcover book or a handy dandy box to be a little more creative with your props. You'll also need to be in front of a desk or a table, maybe even a chair, but not a chair that's too low. I have a little table here that I'm going to use because I'll ask you to place your hands on top of a desk or a table. But I want to be able to have you see me for the practice, so I'm just going to put mine over to the side for a bit. I'd also like to have you by a wall, a bare wall, because the second version I'm going to have you take your hands up the wall, placing your palms on the wall. Now you need to know your practice, know what feels comfortable for you. So if it's hard for you, difficult to just take your chair and turn it to the side to face the wall, then don't do the second version, just do the first version over again. We'll start the practice by a seated centering. First of all, just start to get some movement in your body. Natural movements, any way your body wants to just organically move. Getting out some of those kinks. Paying attention to some of those places that might be a little tense or stiff, and get some movements in those areas. Start to come to more stillness. Find your center, find your alignment and balance point. You might want to rock forward and back and side to side to find that balance on your sitting bones. Take a moment to feel how your sitting bones make contact with the chair, how your feet make contact with the floor or the foot pedals. Have your feet hip width apart to the best of your ability, toes pointing forward, the knees in line with the hips, and the knees over the ankles. Sit up straight and tall, lengthen your spine, let your shoulders soften, and place your hands in your lap however they feel comfortable. If you want to feel a little more grounded, you might want to have your palms facing down. If you want more openness, have the palms facing up. Exhale, and slowly, gently close your eyes or maintain a soft focus downward. Taking a moment to go inward. Sense and feel the space that you're in right now for your practice. The outline of your body. Feeling that sensation of being grounded, grounding through the sit bones and the feet. Take a moment to just sense and feel your breath. The nourishment of your breath and the flow, not trying to change anything. Soften the jaw, the inside of the mouth, the wrinkles on the forehead. Keep grounding and lengthening. And as you come back, place your palms together at heart center, or cross one palm on top of each other on the heart center. And gently open your eyes, take in the light. Take a moment to orient to your space again. We'll begin the practice first. Before coming into downward facing dog, I want to take a moment just to pay attention to the side body, the spine, that whole trunk area, getting some length and space, inner balance, by introducing what we call stacking the bands. Sense and feel a band around your waist, a band around your ribs, a band around your chest, the shoulders, a band around your forehead, which I like to refer to as the hippie band, and a band on top of your head that I like to call the angel band. Now that you have those bands, stack those bands one on top of the other. As you stack those bands, feel that length. Breathe into the space in between the bands, the width, the depth, the length of those bands. Getting a sense of inner balance, space through the whole trunk area, alignment, balance the ears over the shoulders. Keeping that length, hinge from the hips forward to take your palms onto your desk or table for your first downward dog. As you place your hands on the table, spread the fingers so that there's a little space between the fingers. Softly press down through your palms. Take your attention to your sitting bones. Ground down through your sitting bones. Reach through the sitting bones and let that follow and flow down through the inner seam of your legs to your inner heels. Ground the palms, the sit bones, and the heels. Breathe. As you ground your sitting bones and your heels, lengthen from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. Broaden from the center of the heart to the edge of the shoulders, and breathe. Downward facing dog. Now I'd like to add a little extra thing here, paying some more attention to the arms. Take the inner elbows in towards each other, that rolls the upper arms, and take the skin gently towards the bone. As you take the skin towards the bone, lengthen the arms from the wrist to the shoulders. Notice what that does. Maybe it helps you to lift your chest a little bit more. I took a breath. As you ground and lengthen the arms, reach down through your sitting bones, your inner heels, lengthen the spine, the side body, and breathe. Beautiful. Release. And I am going to take my table and put it back over there. You can, of course, stay seated right by your table. One of the things about downward dog is it teaches the connection of the hands and the feet to lengthen the spine and find some extension and space. Many of us get into this habit of this nice scrunched slouching position. So a few downward dogs during your day off and on can help you to find that length and that extension, help you get a bigger breath. Now that we've done a downward dog, just to transition, we will move into the classical yoga pose, cat-cow, just to get some fluidity and movement in the spine. Start by rounding your spine. The shoulders can come forward, the chin can tuck. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lengthen all the way through your spine. Lift your chest. The shoulders can move back. You can have an arch in your back. And then round the spine. Notice as you round, you'll naturally want to exhale. And lengthening through the spine, lifting, broadening across the collarbones into an arch. Notice you'll naturally inhale. You can layer in the breath if you'd like, exhaling as you curl. Inhale as you lengthen up into an arch. Make this your own downward dog, your own cat-cow. One more. Good. Release that cat-cow. Again, find your center, lengthening up through the spine, grounding the feet. Take a couple breaths, and we'll move into the second version. You'll want to turn your chair so that you're facing the wall. And I'm going to grab my block here. I'm going to put my block a little bit closer. Put my block in between my knees. This will give you a little bit more reference. Now that you have the block between your knees, gently squeeze the block. And as you gently squeeze the block, you might notice that that helps you to come more to the midline and get that lift. Get that additional lift before you come into your down dog. Now, if you squeeze the block too hard, you're not going to get that direction. Find your sweet spot of where you can gently squeeze and find and feel that lift. Restack the bands. Get that lift. Hinge forward from the hips and walk your hands up the wall. As you place your hands on the wall, take a moment here. If you're too far up, your back will probably arch and your sit bones might come off the chair. So come back down a little bit so that your sitting bones are grounded on the chair. Your palms are securely pressing against the wall. And also too, if you find yourself a little rounded, see if you can maybe climb your hands up a little bit. Spread the fingers. Take the elbows, the inner elbows towards each other. Press down gently through the palms. Lengthen from the wrist to the shoulders. Let that ground your sitting bones. Reach down through your sitting bones. Let that flow through the inner legs to the inner seam of the heels. And lengthen from the base of the spine all the way to the crown of the head. And breathe. Downward facing dog on the wall. Release by gently walking the hands down, taking the block out and taking a moment to come to your center. Turn your chair forward again and rock back and forth, front to back, finding your center. lengthening through the spine, and then we'll release and get some movement in the spine with another round of cat-cow. Gently rounding the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Lengthen, find that extension, arch the back. Notice your exhale as you curl the spine. Lengthen up. Do 2 more. At your own pace, find your own rhythm and feel that movement of the spine. As you release your cat-cow, again, take a moment to center, to balance. And we'll close with a short Shavasana. Sitting up straight and tall, balance the ears over the shoulders, release the shoulders, soften, and close the eyes or gently gaze downward. Breathe. And just let go, just be. Integrate your practice today, the sensations, the movement. Place your palms together at heart center. Or cross the palms in front of you. Thank yourself for your practice today. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. And I encourage you throughout the day to find some time to just pop a few downward facing dogs and get that extension, expansion, length in your spine. Take a few deep breaths.